I've been taking care of my morning ritual again, and then I was thinking, and I did not really know if I wanted to record this. When I was 8 years old, before I was kidnapped from Haiti to Belgium and then to the Netherlands, some of my best friend, childhood friend, was murdered in front of me. And I was 8 and he was 9 years old. I will become 9 years old in 1984. And what I'm trying to count in my head, if he was murdered in 1983, the end of it, or he was murdered in the end of 1984. Because in my memories, there is a shock wave. He was the first person that died in my arms. I had an Haitian grandmother from my niece, Daily France, who was kidnapped with me, and she died. I believe she was the first person in my life that she died. I took care of her for 2 years, and she was almost 100 years old. More than 100 years old she was. Great aunt. And it was very special for me because after school, in the family, we had to take care of her. We had shift. We have healthcare shift. So sometimes I had to throw away her urine, all kind of thing. And sometimes I had to feed her. And sometimes I had to be with my grandmother. I had to call her grandmother to babysit her. And it was amazing. She was very sweet, very old. I was totally in love. She was the first grandmother in my life that I loved so much because I didn't like my grandmother, Ernestina Ross. She was a very tough lady. I didn't like her at all. And she's also the grandmother who told me that I was different. And I really didn't like it that she really made me feel that I was different. It was a horrible situation. Catherine Jackson, my grandmother, she just told me she fucking hate me all my life. So nothing new. But this grandmother who was past 100 years old, really. I know she was past 100 years old. She was very, very old. And I took care of her and I loved her very much. But she was the first person in my life that died. So, and the second person that died in my life was Kennedy. Kennedy, he died in my arms. We came home from in the evening in Haiti. Don't walk in the evening in Haiti, it's really dangerous. And but we were walking home, and I know that it was around just before 6 o'clock, and it was dark. In my mind, I believe it was 6 o'clock, maybe it was 8 o'clock, I don't know, but it was just dark, and we were being attacked by a man. And Kennedy and I, we fight for our life, and the guy, he wanted to have Kennedy, and he stabbed Kennedy to death with a knife. And I hold him. I felt him dying in my arms. He died in my arms. And it's one of the biggest moments in my life, because on that moment when Kennedy was murdered in my arms, I felt God, angels, the earth. I never be the same again. And I felt on that moment, I had no longer a childhood. When Kennedy died, something inside me died. And I have write this in my book, Thriller Betrayal, but my editor have removed a lot of emotions because it was too hard to handle. But for me, that experience, I keep thinking, so when people say you're crazy thinking Michael Jackson is your father, I keep going back on that moment, because when Kennedy was murdered, my father did everything for Kennedy family, because Kennedy murder was a political brutality murder. His father was against baby doc, and his father was trying to make a political change in Haiti to protect the people of Haiti, and piece by piece, baby dog was killing off this family that Kennedy was the son of. So his family was almost murdered. And many times I think, because my father, Michael Jackson, I'm talking my father, he went and helped this family. And sometimes I feel because he did, he may have become the victim of me being kidnapped. So sometimes I'm thinking, when was the moment that life was getting out of control? Then I have to think about that moment. I think that moment is where everything changed, when Kennedy was murdered in my arms. And my father, Michael Jackson, was involved in protecting this family. So, and then I felt like he was target. That was the moment. And I keep thinking, what was the year? But I know, talking to you now, I know the year 100% was 1984. The year was 1984. 1984. No. It was 1983, because in January 1984, my father burned his head. So Kennedy died 100% in the end of 1983. Kennedy died because I was transported to Port-au-Prince, because I should have been flying back to America. I supposed to go back to America in January, and then my father burned his head. Oh my God, I'm having the time back. Yes. Yes. So Kennedy was murdered 1983. And now I need to find back the month. Kennedy was murdered.